Welcome back everyone to another video. I'm Chaos Prime and today we have a bunch of little tidbits of news that I thought I'd collect and release as one video. We were talking previously about a surprise drop for Game Pass. We've had the news about Amazon, which I'm going to be covering today in the stream, and there's stuff to talk about with the First Descendant as well. That pretty much deserves its own video and one that I'm going to be talking about today on the stream as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy that and turn up for that stream tonight. But today we're going to be looking at a few things, mainly around Overwatch, Exoprimal, and of course the surprise Shadowdrop that could be coming according to XDES1, which is Atlas Fallen. So Atlas Fallen is a game that was released in 2023. It has a mixed review on Steam, mainly I believe due to its performance. It wasn't actually optimized very well for PC, and I believe it runs on UE5, so that brought its own challenges as well. But it apparently could be landing on Game Pass, and that is going to be awesome. The more games we have to dive into, the better. Of course, at some point, this is going to start getting overcrowded, especially with the games that are supposedly coming this year, with the likes of Indiana Jones, Call of Duty, Avowed, Hinterberg, Diablo. There's lots coming, so hopefully those games will start to land. We've got a couple landing in July anyway, so from next month we should start to see a barrage of incoming content. But this is a nice addition to the Game Pass family. I don't know how long it's going to be around, but it's definitely worth you checking out if it does land. Next up, we have this one over here. Now, obviously, this is just an Overwatch collaboration, and at face value, people might not be seeing a lot of, relevance to this. Join the epic battle between Autobots and Decepticons when Overwatch 2 Cross Transformers arrives July the 9th. But this can potentially signify that there is a movement in the games that are from Activision, namely the Transformer games like Wars for Cybertron, that could be coming over to Game Pass. A lot of people are waiting for these Transformer games to be added from the back catalog, the Spider-Man games to be added from the back catalog into Game Pass for people to enjoy. So hopefully this could actually be a kind of sign that is getting closer to it. We did see in my previous video and my stream that there was talks about these actually coming soon. It was supposed to apparently land on June the 9th, but it missed that deadline, and a follow-up tweet did say that it's still coming. Obviously, we are coming to the end of June, so I suspect this may now push over to July, but who knows? Maybe some point at the end of this month we'll see them, but I think this is pretty cool and something that potentially could be played into that and build up the hype for more people to jump into those games. Games like War for Cybertron are still amazingly good in this day and age and worth your time. What else is worth your time? Of course, going down just below, clicking that like button because you're clearly still here and enjoying the content, smashing that sub button, hitting that bell to stay up to date of all content I release. And of course, if you want to support me further, you can do that by joining my YouTube membership, my Patreon, or clicking that super thanks and giving a thank you for the video. Right, shameless plug out the way. Continuing on. City Skylines 2 continues to have problems. It seems like I don't even know if this game is ever going to see the light of day on consoles. On PC, it ran horrendously badly, and that got delayed at the time. But it's looking like Paradox is saying that in terms of stability and performance, it's still not there for consoles. And as such, they've delayed it now for the third time. And honestly, at some point, if they don't get this working for the current gen consoles, they may at some point decide that it's it might be high time to drop it. Now, whether this is due to the Series S's lack of RAM support, because that will always be a challenge when it comes to big games like this, which are extremely resource hungry, setting up these big cities that have to store all that memory. So, there could be difficulties there. If that is the reason, at some point, Microsoft has to make the decision where people who bought the Series X are just not suffering for the fact that the Series S isn't able or capable of doing certain things. You know, I'm not saying that the Series S is a slouch. I'm not saying that the Series S is underperforming for what it is and the cost of the machine. It is an amazing piece of kit. But with 10 gigs of RAM, 4 teraflops of graphics, there are always going to be limitations. It's just the way the world works. It's just the way tech works, right? So if it is that the Series S is causing this to underperform, then at that point, if this is a digital only, then just as people go to buy it, maybe they could introduce a system where it just lets people know that this doesn't work for the Series S, but is working for the Series X. I don't know how they're going to go about it, but clearly, this could be not related to the Series S at all. It could be other issues, but you know, one has to wonder. You know, the Series X is a powerful boy, so I think the Series X should be capable of running this. In terms of stability and performance targets, I think they're referring to the S, and we'll see how that turns out and where it goes from there. But City Skylines is, you know, for now delayed for the third time, and there is no real uh, release date. I think they said something like September now, so we'll see what happens then. Exoprimal is the next game on the chopping board. Now, this released without really any crossplay. I mean, it had crossplay, but you couldn't invite people into your squad from different platforms. So, this game was available day one on Game Pass. My friends had it on PlayStation. I wanted to play with them. I couldn't. That was it. That was an instant turn off. If I can't play these games with my friends on different platforms, it's a live service game. It's instant KO. It's going to end up in a bad place. Now, by update 4, they did actually release, you know, the ability to update, you know, play with your friends. That is 9 months on from when the game was released. It took them 9 months to get that feature added into the game. And with the release of Title Update 4, all planned Exoprimal seasonal content is now complete, and that's it. The game is done. It's in maintenance mode, and all the modes are just going to rotate around over and over again. From July 11, Season 1 returns with subsequent returning seasons and content starting on the first of each month. So if there's 6 seasons all in all, or 9 seasons, whatever it is, they are just going to rotate one after the other, going through, so you can go back and collect the stuff that you have. But in terms of actual support for the title, it is over. And in my opinion, part of the reason that this has gone the way it has, unfortunately, is because they just lack the foresight of making sure that you could play with your friends. It's a live service game, a multiplayer game that is designed for you to play with your friends. And if you release a game that you don't allow people to play with their friends, even if they are from a different platform, this is why live service games should always be cross platform and allow you to play with anyone you want. This is one of the reasons. And unfortunately for Exoprimal, they've learned the hard way where if you don't allow people to play with their friends, they're just not going to play the game, even if it's available on Game Pass. It just wasn't enough. The fact is, there are tons of people like me out there who wanted to play with friends who are on other platforms, be it PC or PlayStation, and were unable to. And that's an instant turn off because you don't want to not play with your friends. And being a multiplayer game, it kind of defeats the purpose. So it's unfortunate, it's sad, but it is what it is. Hopefully, their next games will learn from this. Finally, I wanted to touch on this one. Now, I think I spoke about this in my stream last time, but Final Fantasy XIV is apparently getting a mobile version. Now, whether this is true or not is unknown. There was a Final Fantasy XI version, I believe, being done by Tencent, or was it NetEase? One of the two. But the actual game wasn't developing into the way Square Enix was happy with, and apparently there was a lot of microtransactions and a lot of monetization, and Square Enix just looked at it and said, you know what, this is completely going in a way where we are not satisfied with it, we are not happy, and they just killed the project with Final Fantasy XI, you know, one of my favorite MMOs of all time, if not the favorite MMO of all time. Final Fantasy XI is just on another level for me. And I would have loved a mobile port of it, just to see how it would work, how it would run. And the screenshots that we saw, the in-game shots looked absolutely phenomenal, way better than the actual PC version. So I'm excited and cautious at the same time to see where this is going, especially considering Tencent are the ones that are actually partnering with this to actually take it on board. And we all know how Tencent is when it comes to money. But I'm hoping that this will actually be good. My concern is obviously that Final Fantasy XIV has a lot of buttons, a lot of skills under the hood for you to utilize, especially if you're playing a convoluted job like Dragoon, which also has random skills depending on what triggers based on RNG. So there's you'll do the light attack, medium attack, and then if you press the hard attack, you might get one skill that appears or another skill that appears. Are they all going to kind of condense that into one button press for it to just rotate all the way around? It's highly possible. There were talks about doing that for the main game, and whether they'll get to that or not is unknown. But it's interesting nonetheless. Right, that's it. That's it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. If you are new to the channel and want to continue supporting what I do the good stuff. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. Want to support me further? You can do that through my YouTube membership where you can get content like this early. Or you can simply hit that super thanks or go to my Patreon. All the links in the description below. I do have a Discord that you can join if you want to come in and join the conversation. I also have my Twitch channel and another YouTube channel where I just post gaming videos, gaming kind of guides and stuff like that with my son. Again, link to that is in the description below. Hopefully I'll see you around. Don't forget, I'll be streaming tonight at around 8 p.m. See you then.